Hey everybody, it's me Julie. My video today is being recorded for the first time on my laptop webcam, and I don't know how well this is going to come out, so this is kind of a little experiment that I'm doing. I'm going to make a video for you today regarding what it was like for me to go from a book offer to accepting a publishing deal. My book is supposed to be out in fall of 2014. If everything goes according to plan, it should actually be September. And I figured that I would just share with you what the process was like from the time that I got my first offer to the time that I signed a publishing contract, and a little bit about what happened since then. Now, first of all, what you should keep in mind is that Skyhorse Publishing is like a small to medium-sized house. They're not like a micro press or anything, but they're more independent. So the process of getting a publication contract with one of the larger publishers is probably not very much like what I went through, but there will probably be common threads. I guess I won't know until my fiction contract gets one of those, which is what I'm still crossing my fingers for. In the meantime, my nonfiction is sold, so I've learned a little bit about what that's like. So my agent was looking at quite a few publishers. Of course, this is what they do. They send it out to anybody who they think might be interested, and we'll get responses back from the publishers saying whether they'd like to take a look at, in my case, a proposal, because it's nonfiction, so that's sold differently. So I did get, I believe it was 5 publishers altogether agreed to take a look at the book. I did get a few early rejections from people who just decided that it wasn't right for them, or thought that maybe the audience for the subject wasn't big enough to interest them. But we did get one offer that my agent said she thought we could do better than that offer, and I thought so too, so we just held on to that for a little while. And it did turn out that I got 2 offers that I liked better. So this did end up being a book that got multiple offers. So not every book that sells ends up being something that the publishers compete over, but it's pretty common, I think, to get multiple offers. So what happened after I got the first offer that I was considering taking was that we went back to the other ones that were still considering it, and we let them know, hey, we've got an offer now. We kind of earned the right to push them for information and rush decisions, I suppose. Now you can't be too aggressive with that, because you can end up chasing people off, and I just trusted my agent to know where that line was, and I feel like she did a fantastic job, because I did end up getting a second offer after the first one shortly afterwards. We held on to both of those until we had the last publisher make a decision on whether they were going to offer, and it ended up being kind of a little bit of a stressful time, where we were just wondering whether it was going to come through, but finally they decided to pass. So we were down to 2 publishers that had offered, that we were considering. And so what happened from there was my agent got some preliminary information from both of the publishers, trying to find out some initial information about what their rates were like for, say, ebooks, and what their plans were for distribution. And that way that we could use that to influence our decisions. We got to see some sample contracts, and ultimately it came down to the ebook percentage that we were kind of arguing over for like a week, where I got one publisher that offered a much better rate, and so we were hoping to get the other one to agree to a better rate. So and my agent was very successful with that. I felt very safe in her hands, that she ended up getting me the best deal without upsetting anyone, I think. And from there, she shared the full contract of the publisher that we were more interested in with me, and let me ask the questions, make requests on the contract, and we would share any of our requests with the publisher who offered. They went back and forth on a few things, crossed out things, added things, and ultimately I got a contract that I was happy with, and I signed it. After exchanging the official signed documents and negotiating the advance, the percentages, the timetables, and everything like that, we ended up having a contact made for me with my editor at the publisher. So we've exchanged a few conversations, and she sent me some initial marketing materials and a questionnaire that I had to fill out and think about stuff like which publications and mainstream media outlets I thought would be appropriate to review and promote my book, if I already had any media contacts, any ideas I had for promotion, and quite a bit of other stuff regarding where I've been interviewed already and whether I have been in any media already, because they need to know everything about that. So, I spent some time giving them information. My agent has also given me a packet of information for me to kind of digest about what kinds of things you should be thinking about when you have a book deal and you're going to have a book out next year. Where you should start planting your seeds, what you should be thinking about social media wise, and then from there, that's about where I am right now. And I still have not turned in a manuscript because it's not due for a couple more months as I'm making this video. So if there's anything interesting about the process that I feel like I can share without going too much into things that would either be boring or not prudent to share with the public, I will maybe make another video about the process. But you can also expect to see some videos about maybe stuff about the book itself, or just some general writing videos that I'll be making in the next few months. And feel free to let me know if you have any questions about the beginning of the publishing process, if you're hoping to be there yourself one day. And thanks very much for watching.